Hello, guys, and welcome back to once again another live stream here on the VB Thomas platform. Today, we will be racing a Bro Thomas 6. What do you mean, Benji? What do you mean? Welcome, everyone. It's going to be another race on the F1 Racing League. For the F1 Racing League, of course, as we're going to be racing around Japan, as the title says already. I hope you guys are ready for the live stream. And I'm just gonna go over last week's race, which unfortunately I wasn't there. But all right, Thomas, he's taking a shower. Every time he joins the stream, he's gonna take a shower. It's so interesting. All right, so the top three of last week was Rhino Hussey, Geldy in P2, and Ryan in P3. It was on China. I wasn't there for, well, probably a reason. But yeah, I'm gonna be there this week. So hopefully you guys are gonna be appreciating that. Now, today, we're going to be racing on Japan, as I already said. It's the Suzuka International Circuit. Japan has a population of about 123 million people. The first Grand Prix ever held in Japan was in 1987. Unfortunately, the F1 RL doesn't really keep their records on previous races. So unfortunately, I don't have the winner from last season. But a qualifying record on this track is a 126.7. And the race record is a 128.9. So that is set by PGR on Tuesdays. That was a couple of weeks ago. So let's see if these guys are going to be able to beat that, of course. Now let's go straight over to the track layout. So we've got a short qualifying and a 50% race coming. The track distance is going to be 5.8 kilometers, and the race distance will be around 156 kilometers. Now, let's have a quick look at the track layout, of course, because turn 15 is quite a fast one, and then you're entering turn 16 and 17, which is going to be that chicane. Now, coming out of turn 18, you need to have a lot of speed through that corner in order to be able to make a move down the main straight, down the start-finish straight, of course. Starts are always a little bit chaos here in Japan, but aren't they on every track, though? I think Japan is quite of a nice one to make an overtake every now and then into turn 1. And you've got I kind of skipped sector 1 because for some reason it's a little bit difficult to find some good clips on there. But let's go through turn 11 and 12 right here, as I think that turn 14 is a little bit of a difficult one. You need to watch out for the curbs on the exit. As you can see here, turn 13, also a little bit of a questionable corner. You've got turn 14, which you need to take care of your car. Because, of course, if you touch the curb on the exit, you're going to be spinning out, or at least lose some time. And then, of course, down the main straight, you've got no DRS, because there is only one DRS opportunity here in Japan. That is down the start-finish straight. You've got that fast turn 15, which I spoke about already. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the strategy here. Safety car probability is quite high. Tire degradation rate, not really, and neither is the tire overheating probability. It's only in Sector 1, which the tire overheating probability is quite high, but in general, it's not really a problem here around Suzuka. Now, strategy-wise, I would say a medium soft could come in handy when you have multiple safety cars. Medium hards, hard mediums are the easy ones to go with. Then, of course, you've got a little bit of a risky one, a hard soft strategy, which you can definitely use to work out the late safety car with, of course, something like that. Now, let's have a quick look at my predictions here. My predictions are going to be, there's 20 people in the lobby, so there's a lot of people to choose from. But I think, for some reason, I feel like, Merv is going to do pretty well. So I'm going to go with Merv in P1. I'm going to put John Holmes in P2. No, I'm going to go Rhino P2. And I'm going to go Sean P3. The biggest loser of the evening is going to be Angry Guns. He's going to spin out. He's currently the championship leader, though. So that is great to see. And the biggest winner of the evening is going to be Joe Helsing. He's not going to be doing good in the qualifying, but he is going to be doing good in the race, just keeping his nose clean. And that is what you need as a racing driver, of course. So amount of safety cars, I think there's going to be at least 2, maybe even 3. So medium, soft is the best strategy to go for if you have that many safety cars, of course. And there is a new livery. Oh, no, never mind. They're using F1 cars, of course. The F1 game is fucked again, so we're not going to have actual F1 cars. We're going to have multiplayer cars, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but we'll have to do with the things that we've got. I don't know. But in Belgium, well, in Flemish, it's like je moet roeien met de riemen die je hebt, but I don't know how that translates. You have to row with the belts you've got or something like that. I don't know if it's the same. But guys, let's go straight over to the race, of course. Now, you guys will be able to see me for the whole race. And I don't know if you like that, if you don't like that. But it is something that I got in my DMs. So someone DM'd me. Said, hey, Thomas, maybe you should do something where we are able to see you during the race. Now, of course, when I'm racing, well, not when I'm racing, but when I'm commentating, sometimes I'm like laying like this or laying like this or like something. Sometimes I'm maybe even out of the camera. So now with this camera right in front of me, I really need to keep myself in the same position for 1.5 hours. So let me know if it's something you think is better, you think is worse. Yeah, it's something new. As you can see, the screen is on the left side right now. And the standings are above. Unfortunately, I had to cut down the constructors a little bit because, yeah, I didn't have any more room for the constructors. So it's the top 5 of the constructors and the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship. Now, there's a lot of guys on track. We've got Tina Stick coming across the line with a 129.3. But we're currently looking at Merv, who is 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, if I'm not mistaken. And he is an AlphaTauri driver, if I'm not mistaken. So he's going to be warming up his tires a little bit because he invalidated his time here. Well, his lap. 128.7 from Angry Guns, who is going to be participating in King of Leagues, although he didn't mark attendance yet. We've got Sean retiring from the session. He might have had a polyban, maybe? Not too sure, but I mean, did he crash out? He probably did crash out, didn't he? I don't see his car on track though, so it's quite unlikely, but still, you have to keep all the options open. Now let's drive on board with Murph here, as we want to enable the lap data real quick. As of course, he didn't set a time yet. For later, it is going to be interesting to see whether he's up on his time or down on his time. Usually as a racing driver, you want to be down on your time. You're going to be putting a better lap in if you're down on your time. I mean, even if you're up on your time, you are able to put a better time yet in Sector 3, for example, because you want to push for that better time. But even if you're down on your time, you really want to push even more to get a better lap. You see that green delta on the top of your screen. You're like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. First sector, I'm already 2/10 up. Here we go. Sector 2, Sector 3, maybe another 2/10. That is how you really try to improve a lap and try to look for more tenths, if that makes sense, you know. But Murph now coming down the main straight. He's going to go through turn 15. Takes a little bit of grass on the exit. Quite interesting right there. But he's got a car right in front of him. That is a yellow car. And that is possibly going to be Joe, who is on a night lap right now. So he's going to start a fast lap. He's got a red car right in front of him. That might have been John Holmes. But as I said already, the guys are using F1 World cars. So they are allowed to choose whatever livery they want. You know, Rhino Hussey now takes the lead here in the qualifying on 128.4. Let's go at the bottom of the grid. So you might want to go on board with Rush, although he invalidated his lap, so he's just going to let the yellow car go past. Although he's not really going to the side, although he is. It was Joe Helsing, if I'm not mistaken. And he's got a beautiful car right there. A black and yellow car, something I haven't seen that many times before. But it's definitely a good looking car from the Englishman, who's now on an outlap. But many people are on an outlap, so we might want to focus on someone who isn't on an outlap. There goes Joby, as he's got the BWT livery. It is the Alpine livery of the two first races of the season, which were actually going to be Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken. John Helsing is going to play a lawnmower of the evening. He's going to let everyone go through. He's not on a fast lap anyway. Shippy Kev, who is 9 seconds up on his time, so he's not going to be able to improve. Murph might be, although he put a fast lap last time already. but I don't think he was very happy with what he has done in Sector 2 and Sector 3. So is he going for the fast lap once again? He is not. He's coming into the pits right now. We might want to drive on board with Matko, who has put a 137.4. So definitely not a great lap for the Red Bull driver, but I'm trying to think where he's from. Because I know he's not English. I know it's something Balkan. But I can't quite remember where exactly. I'm just going to have a quick look in the list. Matko, here he is. And he is from... doesn't state. Interestingly enough, I'm not going to be able to find it. And I've got a ping. Alright. Formation lap is off. Oh, formation lap is off. So that's already important. That's great. I'm going to have a quick look if I can find Matko's nationality. Matko, here he is. I can't find it. Can't find it. So I'm afraid we will have to stick with the Red Bull driver instead of the nationality. Usually I'm using like the Red Bull driver or the Ferrari driver, but I don't know every nationality or like every car because they're using F1 World cars, of course. So I might be able to use the nationality because like 70% of the drivers are English anyway. It isn't really that difficult. Just say everyone is English, and then of course you're going to be making a mistake, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to put the PlayStation sound a little bit louder. There we go. This should be a little bit better. You guys should be able to hear the game a little bit better right now. I don't know if it's better. I don't know if it's worse. I'm just going to have a quick listen for myself. And then we are ready to commentate on the race. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this as much as I do. I do this each evening, each week for the F1 RL League. So yeah, it is what it is, right? Yup, seems to be all good quality. Amazing, amazing, amazing. This is what we love, guys. Like, good quality, good everything. The streams are smooth. The races are smooth. The qualifying is smooth. Everything is smooth. That's just what we like to see, isn't it? Joe Helsing, who is 2 seconds up on his time, so he's not going to be able to improve. Oranje is 18 seconds up, so he's not going to be able to improve. And it's a really tight battle for the championship. There's only 2 more races to come, which is going to be, of course, Japan and the season ender. What is the season ender? Ooh, that is a good question. It's next week. I don't know. It's race 13. I've never seen a calendar of 13 races. I've never seen it. So I don't know what kind of strategy is behind the the creation of the calendar, but it's something new. I like it. John Holmes is it before though. He's got the pace today, and I think John Holmes is one of the newer drivers here in this league. So I know him, Oranje, and where is Joby? Oh, there is Joby. Joby and P11 are from the Phoenix Racing League, and I think they joined through my Discord server, which I mean, I don't mind. You know, I don't mind seeing players in multiple leagues. You know, the funny thing with that is I know some background information about them already. Then, so it's always a little bit great. Like, it's great to have familiar drivers in a league, like, you know, double drivers, or yeah, you know what I mean, right? So yeah, they're gonna be doing good. I know that John Holmes is a little bit faster than Joby and Oranje. Oranje is not one of the most consistent ones. I've seen that in my open lobbies too, where, well, he sometimes takes a part, sometimes he DNFs, sometimes he's just watching for fun, you know, for fun. But yeah, I mean, the guy is a great guy. He's got good racing standards, and he's unfortunately not that fast. Or, I mean, he is fast, but not consistent, if that makes sense. So that is going to be Oranje, and then we've got Joby. Not one of the most consistent either. I would say a little bit Oranje, Boom's pace, and then, yeah, racing standards are also pretty good from the Englishman. Now let's have a quick look at Sheepycaf, who is on a fast lap. I think he just put a fast lap in as he was 7/10 down in his previous time. But there's a lot of yellow flags, so I feel like this track is really a track where there's a lot of people crashing out here in F1 RL. Another yellow flag that is going to be in Sector 1. That is possibly going to be a white car. And the only white cars on the track are Sheepy, Kev, and Thatchers. And Thatchers is currently in Sector 1, so that is going to make sense. There's a yellow car right behind Sheepy Kev, so he needs to watch out. He's 7 seconds up on his time. So maybe he should watch out for the yellow car right behind him. He's going to back out too. And it's a little bit busy, you know, with 20 people on the track, it's going to be busy. You really need to watch out when you're going out, right? You don't want to end up in the middle of the pack, in the middle of chaos, in the middle of traffic. When you're in a fast lap, of course. I mean, if you're in an out lap, it doesn't really care. It doesn't really matter, you know. But Youngie, I mean, he has done some great calculations here. He's on a fast lap right now. There's no one right in front of him. Somewhat no one behind him. And he's got a pretty interesting car right there. I think Youngie, I might be wrong, but I feel like he's Irish looking at that car. Because these are the Irish colors, of course. The green, the white, and the orange. And if I'm correct, Youngie is indeed an Irishman. So, yeah, I mean, good looking car. He's proud to be Irish, as we can see on his car. So, that's always great. If you're proud of your nationality, which the Englishmen are a little bit too much. But if you're proud of your country, that's something, dude. That says something about your country. You know, I'm not really proud to be Belgian, because, I mean, Belgian. Because, I mean, for multiple reasons, right? Oh, Thomas, welcome, buddy. How are you doing? Hope you're having a fine evening. What time is it actually in South Africa right now? Isn't it the same as mine? Like 9:15 or something like that? I do think it's 9:15. But Youngie is on a slow lap right now. We might want to drive on board with Hammer, who is 10 seconds down. So I'm not really focusing on people who are on a fast lap, actually. Maybe we want to drive on board with Angry Guns. The guy is battling for the championship lead. He's currently in P2. No, he's in P1 with only a couple of points ahead. I'm not too sure if you guys are able to read it under the driver's standings, but he's definitely there. And the guys are going to be right next to each other, right behind each other, actually. As they, of course, want to go last on a fast lap, because the longer you stay out, I mean, not the longer you stay out, but the longer you wait during qualifying session, the hotter the surface gets. And if the surface gets hotter, you're going to be faster. Only by a slight margin, though, like maybe 200s or something like that. But it's something, you know. We've seen qualifying laps where there's 2,000s of a difference, 4,000s of a difference, and then those 200s can come in handy, of course. So that is something you have to think about as a racing driver, of course. But you don't want to end up in traffic, be too late to start your qualifying lap, and then not being able to put a qualifying lap at all. So you really need to think about how you're going to be doing that, of course. 21:17, yeah, that's the same as me, Thomas. That's the same as me. I didn't know. Well, I really thought that South Africa was more to the right, more like above Russia or something. Not really Russia. I don't know where. Let me think. More like Hungary or something like that. That makes sense. What time zone does Hungary actually run? Interesting. I know Hungary is also Europe, but does it run the same time zone? Time zones are different, guys. Time zones are difficult. That's the thing. Time zones are difficult. But I mean, if there weren't time zones, we would have been in big shit. Angry Guns, who is on a fast lap right now, he's 11 thousandths up on his time. He might be able to find a few tens here in Sector 2 and Sector 3. As it seems like he had a good exit coming through that corner, so he might be a couple of tens down here in Sector 2. Another yellow flag. That is going to be in Sector 1, if I'm not mistaken. That is so weird. Thomas, how are you 2 hours ahead of the UK? Because I'm 1 hour ahead of the UK. And we are at the same time, so I don't know how it works. 3 tenths up is 3 tenths down is the Englishman, Angry Guns, right now, coming into Sector 3, turn 16 and 17, of course, here in Suzuka. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, turn 4 is the buzzing corner. Oh, Angry Guns, who puts himself in the lead right now in disqualifying, but we might want to drive on board with Rhino Hussey, who's now entering turn 15. And I know that Sebastian Vettel did something about the biodiversity here in Japan. And he has like a buzzing corner. It's a corner which has the bees colors. Of course, it's not going to be on the game. But I did saw his video on that corner, and I thought it was turn 4. But I could be wrong. Turn 2. Oh, apparently it's turn 2. But yeah, I mean, it's a great gesture. You know, we need more people like that. We don't need people like Hamilton complaining about not all drivers being the same. We need to have someone who is actually into biodiversity and all that kind of stuff. Of course, the guys who are now watching this live stream and are thinking that's bullshit, just remember, Vettel is in for like the bees and stuff. If there weren't any bees, our Earth wouldn't be where it was today. I mean, I don't think Earth would make it like 14 days or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's really need more drivers like that. Of course, Vettel isn't the driver anymore, so he doesn't have the influence like he used to anymore. But I do remember that Vettel was the one. Oh, Rhino Hussey. He had to watch out there for that car. I'm not too sure if he's up in his time. Let's have a quick look. Yes, 2 seconds up. He's not going to be able to improve. But of course, I mean, Vettel was the guy who came to work, came to the F1 on his bike. He, instead of going by his private jet to a certain Grand Prix, for example, if it was in Belgium, he would fly over from the UK to Belgium with his private jet, and Vettel would be that kind of guy that goes with the car, if that makes sense. Ooh, Rush might be able to improve here. He did, but it's not going to be enough. Only 1.7 tenths of an improvement for the Englishman. No idea if it's an Englishman. I'm just going to say it's an Englishman. But he puts himself in P3 with a secure P3. You know, nobody else is going to be able to improve here. So you've got Sean and Chef Badger all the way in P19 and 20. So they're going to be all the way at the back of the grid, but doesn't really matter, right? Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. They are going to be able to improve well, but I feel like it's going to be difficult for Sean to get all the way from P19 to P3. I had Sean on my podium. I don't think it's going to be possible anymore. So I might have to switch my P3, but I'm not allowed to because I already locked in my predictions, you know. But yes, Thomas in the chat confirmed that it was indeed turn 2 where Sebastian Vettel put the B colors. You know, it's like, usually it's like white and red. As you can see here on the right side, for example. It's white and red, but he made it black and yellow. All right, let's go through the short qualifying standings, well, results. Angry Guns in P1 with a 128.3. Let me have a quick look. The qualifying record on this track was a 126.7, so that is about 1.5 seconds slower. And we've got Rhino Hussey in P2 and Rush in P3. Congratulations to you guys, and also congratulations to the rest of the grid. And we've got Tina Stick in P4 and Widget in P5. Further, we've got Sheepy Kev, Youngie, Geldy, John Holmes, Hammer, Murph, Joby, Tomo, Matko, Calvert, Joe Helsing, Thatchers, Oranje. And then, of course, the guys who didn't qualify is going to be, well, are going to be Sean and Chef Badger all the way in P19 and P20. That is going to be your results here in this short qualifying. Of course, we've got a 50% race coming up right now. I'm going to take a quick sip of water because I'm really thirsty from the fries I had earlier. I put a lot of salt on my fries, so that's the main reason why I'm so thirsty, you know. I'm just going to have a quick look how the Drivers' Championship is looking like. Because I know there was 3 drivers fighting for the Drivers' Championship. Murph, Angry Guns, and Rhino Hussey. Rhino Hussey was in quite a big of a lead at the beginning of the season, but I feel like he dropped down a little bit. He might have had a bad result in Japan last week. Although, no, he was on the podium. That was really interesting. All right, so Angry Guns is in P1. He's got 243 points. Right? That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit in a 13 race calendar. And we've got Rhino Hussey in P2 and Murph in P3. But we're going to go straight into the race as it's not going to be a formation lap. So here we go. It's 5 red lights here in Japan. And off we go. We've got Angry Guns with a pretty bad start. I think Rhino Hussey is going to overtake him already into turn 1. There goes the Englishman down the inside of the other Englishman. And Rush is just going to benefit from that. Angry Guns loses 2 positions here in turn 2. Although he's going to battle back. They're going side by side through turn 3, through turn 4 right now. As that is going to be a P1 for Rhino, a P2 for Rush, and a P3 for Angry Guns. How is the rest of the grid looking like? Position changes. We are not seeing many big position changes, to be honest. Sean, who gained 1. And we've got Joe Helsing gaining 3, so that is a great start from the Englishman too. And the rest of the grid is like not really big changes. We've got Sheepy Kev now making a move on Youngie, and Geldy benefits from that incident. I feel like Youngie is just backing out of this. He's backing out of this. They're going side by side, 3 wide through turn 11 right there. And now it's going to be Youngie in P8. Not too sure why he's slowing down that much. Maybe he doesn't have the straight line speed here. So you might want to go on board with Tina Stick, who has a little bit of a snap there. He has to watch out for the car right behind him, who had to weave a little bit in order to avoid crashing into Tina Stick. And we've got Calvert retiring from the session, and that is going to be your first safety car of the evening. 5-second time penalty for Matko after an incident with Tomo, as the guys are all the way at the back of the grid. 4 positions lost for Matko, 6 positions lost for Tomo. So Matko is just going to let him go through. And I'm not too sure what happened there, but we might need to have a quick think. Well, a quick think. What could have happened? Where did it actually happen? I think it was like coming out of turn 11. They might have had an incident, and then turn 12, maybe on the curb. But the safety car is already out. There's a couple of guys coming into the pits. Hammer, John Holmes, Joby, Tomo, and Matko are all coming into the pits. So they're going to go for new tires, as we've got a couple of guys on the softs, a couple of guys on the mediums, and 3 drivers on the hards. As that is going to be Geldy, Hammer, and Joby Rennie. Joby, who just went onto the hards. He's looking to finish this race maybe on the hards. I'm not too sure actually. Then we've got Tomo and Matko on the mediums, and Tita Stick, Youngie, Rush, Angry, and Sheepy Kev are all on the mediums too. Now we've got a couple of soft runners, being Rhino Hussey. That might be the reason why he had such a good start. He went so smooth off the line. He made that overtake into turn 1. There was nothing Angry Guns could have done. And then Rush, he just benefited from that. He thought, give me that position, bro. And he took it. So Widget is also going to be the one on the soft tires. And then for the rest of the grid, we've got Merv, Joe Helsing, Attachers, Oranje, Chef, Badger, and Sean. On the soft tires, John Holmes just has gone onto the soft tires. So I'm not too sure what the strategy is behind that. But it's quite an interesting strategy, to be honest, you know. You've got an early safety car, you're coming into the pits to go for softs. So wasn't it a better idea to stay out and stay on the tires you're on at that moment? Because you will have to come into the pits at the same time. Well, it doesn't really matter. You're probably even going to take them longer than these softs. So John Holmes maybe is looking to get a couple of positions on the board with that pit strategy, but I'm not too sure. You know, not everyone is behind the safety car yet, so we're going to be doing one more lap, I can imagine. As we've got Matt going P19. Calvert, who unfortunately crashed out already. So I'm going to have a quick look in the Discord if he sent footage in already. Oh, I'm not able to see the footage. Or am I? No, I'm not able to. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, I'm not going to be able to see the footage. They deleted me from it, unfortunately. And I'm able to spill the gossip, you know, spill the gossip. Rush is in P2 right now. He is running medium, so I feel like he can go on the long run and then go on to hards at the end of the race. But I feel like Rhino can do the exact same. Going from softs to hards. Just a little bit of a different strategy than Rhino. Like, just a tiny bit, you know? We've got already a penalty. That is going to be for Hammer, so might have had speeding in the pit lane penalty. Let's have a quick look. It's probably going to be that. He's got a 5-second time penalty. He didn't serve it into the pits. So yeah, that is definitely a drive-through penalty. Not a drive-through penalty. Speeding in the pit lane penalty. Because Matko had a penalty before the safety car was there. He came into the pits and served it. So that makes a little bit of sense there. So the next time that Hammer is going to come into the pits, he will probably have to serve that. If he's going to come into the pits, that is a good question. Maybe it is the best to come into the pits, serve that penalty when there's a safety car. If there's no safety car, it wouldn't come into the pits and serve that, because you're going to be losing more time than you are behind the safety car, if that makes sense. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I mean, the guys on the hards, will they be able to make it till the end of the race? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. You know, there's still 24 laps to go here in Japan. A lap takes quite a bit of time. I think it's like 1 minute 30 or something. So you would be on those tires for like 35 minutes. I think they would be like 70% already. The hards, of course. Maybe 60, because the higher the tire percentage, the more difficult it's to drive with them. But it is more difficult, for example, to drive on 60% hards than it is to drive on 60% softs. The tire wear on the hards is going to be, well, the tire degradation rate is going to be longer. So for example, if you race on 5-lap-old hards, I mean, for 5 laps, they're going to be around like 5% maybe, but the softs are going to be at 20. So it's quite logical that the 60% softs are going to be less difficult than the 60% hards, because you are so long on those hards already. I think in this case it would be 20 laps, but we've got Geldy now down the inside of Sheepy Kev before turn 1 is there. Beautiful move from the Englishman slash Austrian, as of course our buddy Geldy, he's quite a fast driver. I do have to give him that. And that was a beautiful move on Sheepy Kev right there. I think Sheepy Kev is an Alpine driver, if I'm not mistaken. And from the top of my head, he is. And Geldy is a Haas driver. So, yeah, Geldy, I mean, he's got the pace today. He's also on those hard tires. So looking at the position changes, he has gained 3 already on the hard tires. And that is quite remarkable, because almost the rest of the grid, the guys in front of him, the guys behind him, are on soft tires. So if you can make a move on the hard tires on someone with soft tires, that means you really have the pace around Japan. And now he's looking to make a move on Widget too, as Widget is running mediums, if I'm not mistaken, even softs. He's running soft. So Geldy, not too sure what kind of peppers he ate here before the Grand Prix, but the peppers seem to be not working anymore, as he's got Sheepy Kev right on his tail. Sheepy Kev is, of course, looking to get back into that P5, although I think Geldy has a lot of straight line speed. He's really able to catch up that guy right in front of him. He's defending the inside line right now on the guy right behind him. And Sheepy Kev with a good exit coming through turn 17, that is. Is that turn 17? That is turn 18. He might be able to make that move work. Rhino Hussey with the fastest lap right now, but how could it not? He is on the soft tires, and he has a 1.5 second gap to Rush, who is running medium tires, if I'm not mistaken. Right behind Rush, we've got Angry Guns with his beautiful livery right there. The top 3 is not the top 3 in the Drivers' Championship. We've got Murph all the way in P8, right behind Tina Stick, and I think these two have agreed to run the same livery. They are indeed running the same livery, and it would be a coincidence. Are they running the same livery, though? No, I don't think so. Oranje Boom has crashed, and that is going to be another safety car. There goes the Englishman into the wall, probably coming into turn 7. As that is a very unfortunate incident. That, you know, turn 7 is that kind of corner where you don't have a lot of grip. That is well known around the F1 world. You really need to watch out with the throttle input through turn 7. If you go too fast onto the throttle, you're going to be spinning into the wall. If you go too slow onto the throttle, you're going to get overtaken by 3 people. So, throttle input into turn 7 is, in my opinion, one of the most difficult ones here around Japan. Maybe together with turn 11. As you can see, that little U-turn there, like on the top of... No, you're not going to be able to see that. So, right where the 2 is, right? There's the number 2. On the right side, there is a U-turn. That is turn 11. Basically, if you come out of turn 11, you need to have a lot of traction. If you put too much traction, well, throttle, you're going to be having too much, well, not too much traction, but well, actually you do. And then you're going to be like sliding all over the place, and then of course you're going to lose your car. If you put too few throttle on there, there's a couple of guys coming into the pits, by the way. Rhino Hussey goes onto the hard, so does Widget probably. And the guys who are on the hards right now must be crying. Angry Guns and Rush are staying out. As Murph is also coming into the pit, so he might be up for that podium position anyways after a P8 qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. But as I said, if you put too fuel throttle into turn 11, it's the same story as turn 7. You're just gonna lose a lot of positions. These guys are gonna be having good throttle through, well, good traction coming through that corner. And it's the same in every U-turn. You've got Canada. If you've got good throttle, good traction coming through that corner, you're going to be overtaking so many people down the main straight. Now, luckily for the guys who don't have a lot of traction coming through that corner, the straight is not that long. You're entering turn 12 and 13 in a couple of seconds. So apart from the length of the straight right behind it, you're really going to be in a deficit if you're running no traction. Of course, if you've really mastered the traction control, I mean the no traction control, you're going to be able to get faster and faster every time you do it. But the medium traction control runners, they don't really have to care about their throttle input. So they're just going to fly past you if you don't have mastered the throttle input yet. It's going to be the same in Canada. It's going to be the same in Spa, turn 1, which is kind of a U-turn. It's more like a hairpin. Is there anything else? What other tracks are there? We might have China, turn 15 or something, like those last couple of turns. I think turn 16 is the last turn. And then you've got turn 15, which is going to be that U-turn in sector 3. Is there anything else? Let me have a quick think. Silverstone turn... No, I don't think Silverstone has a U-turn. Japan has one U-turn. It's turn 11. Bahrain has one. No, Bahrain doesn't have one either. It's like a corner combination. Turn 10, if I'm not mistaken. Saudi Arabia doesn't have one. Imola doesn't have... Imola does have one. Well, technically, turn 7 in Imola is going to be kind of a U-turn. It's not really... It's a fast U-turn. It's not like really where you have to... Oh, the slowest U-turn of them all. Monaco. We all know Monaco. We all know Monaco. We all know Monaco. And you know what? The thing with Monaco, right? It is a really, really slow corner. I think... Let me think. Turn 5, 6... I think it's also turn 7. So turn 7 in Monaco is a really slow one. Or is it turn 6? I don't know. It's the slowest on the calendar. And I feel like in Monaco, it's not that difficult to come out of that corner. Because you're all running like first gear or second gear. I don't know what gear you actually run through there. First gear, probably. No, second gear. Second gear. You're running second gear through there. But you need to slow down that fast that it doesn't really affect your race. Like, for example, if you come out of turn 7 in Monaco, you've got a corner right away. So if you put too much throttle in there, you can control your car and slide through that corner. Turn 8, that is then. Which is going to be a 90 degrees to the right. But if you've got, for example, Canada, if you make one mistake in turn 10, that is too, you're just gonna lose so much speed on the straights. That is just a fact. But we are going to be racing again. The safety car is coming into the pits. We've got currently lap 7 out of 27. As we've got green flags pretty soon. Rush is going to be leading the safety car here. As he's going to go straight. Straight coming out of turn 18. But when he's going to go, he went a little bit like half speed through turn 18. Which kind of confused a lot of guys behind him. As there's a little bit of weaving going on. He really needs to watch out with breaking that toe from Angry Guns right behind him. As he's now 3 tenths in front. It's only 2 tenths right now coming into turn 4. Turn 3, that is turn 4 right now. As Geldy has caught up to P3. So Geldy having a banger of a race. So does Joe Helsing, who's currently in P7. Started all the way in P16. But Geldy is looking to make another move on Angry Guns. He's 2 tenths behind. Both drivers are running a blue car right now. But of course, Angry Guns, a little bit of a more blue slash white-ish car. And we've got Joe Helsing running that British flag car. It looks absolutely beautiful. I feel like that's a Williams livery, if I'm not mistaken, as he does have that little battery on the top of his head. And then, of course, the Gulf Racing logo. So coming around turn 12, he's going really wide right there. That might have been a little bit of a track warning for the Englishman in P3. And as you can see on the rear wing, it also says Williams Racing. So he's looking to make a move. He's got a lot of straight line speed, but he doesn't have the pace around sector 3 right now. There goes Angry Guns. He was looking to make a move around the outside. The room wasn't there, but Geldy is going to benefit from this. A little bit of a switchback. It doesn't really... Oh, a little bit of a snap there from Angry Guns, who didn't have his car in control. Now going 3 wide down the main straight, as it also looks like Youngie is going to be making a move on a Tina stick right behind him. There's the yellow flag in sector 1, so nobody is allowed to make that overtake work. And that is going to be Joby Rennie. Dropped 6 positions. He is currently in P18, unfortunately, as he did have a pretty good race start here in Japan. We're currently past a third of this race, as we still have 18 more laps to come. And Rush is going to be the leader of the race right now. Now, we are looking at Rhino Hussey, who's making the comeback race work after his pit stop. After the safety car, of course, he went from mediums to the hards, if I'm not mistaken. Or was he on the softs at the beginning of the race? Can't quite remember. But the guy in P1 in the qualifying was actually Angry Guns. So yeah, it was indeed Rhino Hussey who was on the soft tires. And I mean, he made the perfect strategy work. There was a safety car around lap 7, if I'm not mistaken. 6 maybe. So that is like the pit entry for this, well, the pit window for the soft tires. Now he's looking to have a good move on John Holmes here, but John Holmes is holding up strong. He's got a lot of straight line speed. I feel like Rhino Hussey is just gonna wait when they come out of till they come out of turn 15. Now he's got a lot of dirty air right there. Is he gonna throw it down the inside? Doesn't look like it. He might have DRS. Although the DRS is enabled right now, so he's just gonna have it next lap. A little bit of a step there from the Englishman, as he loses a couple of tenths on the Haas driver, I think that is. And Widget who now makes a move down the inside of Tomo. Beautiful done. But they're, of course, just taking the regular... Oh, that is the regular livery. So a lot of guys are running this one, actually. We've got Widget, Tomo, Chef Badger, Hammer. All of these guys couldn't be bothered making their own livery. They're just going to use the F1 World livery, of course. Let's drive on board with Rhino Hussey, as he's back on the tail of Mr. John Holmes here in sector 2. So this is going to be the turn 11, which I was talking about in a couple of seconds. And you will be able to see the difference in traction coming through that corner. Now, let's have a quick look. Who had better traction? It seems like that is going to be... Oh, that is definitely going to be Rhino Hussey, as he's right on the tail of John Holmes right now. There is someone who crashed out. That is going to be a white car. Who is the white car? No ID. No ID. Oh, we've got Rhino Hussey. 110 behind. Oh, yeah, he's definitely going to make this move. Look at that. Beautifully done from Rhino Hussey, as he had better traction coming through turn 14. So that is going to be P7 right now for the Englishman, as he's trying to make a comeback race work. Now on the tail of Joe Helsing, as Joe Helsing has had a lot of penalties, a lot of positions for free already. Angry Guns is going to spin out. DNF for Angry Guns. And this is not great for the championship battle, the Drivers' Championship, as he is currently in P1 in the Drivers' Championship. So this is going to be 0 points for Angry Guns, the Alpine driver, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed he is. Rhino Hussey needs to do it right now. He needs to do it right now. If he can get a race win, he is almost secured of the Drivers' Championship. And I feel like, you know, a track like Japan, there's a lot of pressure on your shoulders. You're gonna make mistakes. It's always there in Japan, even if there's no pressure on your shoulders. Everyone makes mistakes around Japan. It's such a hard track to master. And you know, even with the pressures on your shoulders, right? Angry Guns was currently, well, was in P1 in the Drivers' Championship. He felt the pressure of Rhino closing in again, because Angry didn't come into the pits yet. Rhino did, so he had the advantage of the tires right there. So he saw him close in. He might have wanted to push a little bit more. I'm not too sure how close Rush was when the accident happened. But yeah, that is going to be Angry Guns out of the race. And we've got another safety car. So I'm going to put my fan on real quick. It's getting a little bit hot here in my room. So I need a little bit of refreshment, if you know what I mean. So Joe Helsing, 11 positions gained. He's going to be the biggest winner of the evening. Didn't I put him as my biggest winner of the evening? I feel like I did. I feel like I did. I did put him as my biggest winner. I got something correct. Nice. He's currently in P5. He's not coming into the pits. Oh, no, he is. He is. And so is everyone else, actually. Joe Helsing, who was on the softs, too. Wow. He sticked with them for 12 laps. That is crazy. Probably going on to the hards. Yes, he is. Tire-wise, anyone else going on to the hards? Yes, they do. We've got Tina Stick on the hards. We've got Youngie on the hards. So is John Holmes. So is Matko. So is Tomo. So is Murph. So is Sheepy Kev. All those guys going onto the hard tires. This is here all the way at the back of the grid. So they probably came in last lap. So yeah, unfortunately, the safety car was there. So, you know. But there's 3 drivers who have gone onto the mediums. Rhino Hussey has gone on to the mediums. But he started on the soft, so that's quite interesting. I think he thinks that it's going to be possible to finish the race on these mediums. Soft medium as a tire strategy? That is something I've never seen in Japan before. But if it works, why not? If it works, why not? Or wait, didn't he go for... I think he already went for mediums. Let me think. He went from softs to mediums last lap because he was all the way at the back of the grid. And he made that comeback race work. So indeed, he already made 2 stops. Yeah, he did indeed. John Holmes, who has made 3. What tire is he on at the moment? Mediums possibly? Hards maybe? He's on the hards, so he's going to finish the race on the hards. Of course, if there's not any more safety cars. Then, of course, Hammer. Not something where I would expect him to be. I mean, he has made up 7 positions. Sean MP2 with 17 positions gained. What a comeback race from the Englishman, as we've got another green flag. So that is going to be safety car in the pit lane. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water and then we will be ready to go again. So here they go. Widget leading the pack with Sean right behind him. But Sean is running old mediums. He's got Hammer right behind him. Ah, that's unfortunate, Angry Guns. What happened exactly? Like, did you just spin it or did someone spin you? Oh, what a beautiful car from Sean there. Running the Alfa Romeo livery. I respect that. He knows that I'm a big Alfa Romeo fan. He's struggling on the mediums right now. On these old mediums, let's have a quick look with the tires. Oh, 7-lap old mediums. That is actually not that old. We've got Sean right now in P2. As he's trying to close down the gap to a Widget. So is Hammer. Hammer is really close. And these guys are all pretty close. Sean, who's going a little bit wide right there, might lose some traction. And yes, indeed, he does. Rush down the inside. He's having the outside line right now. And there they go. Beautifully done from Rush, in my opinion. Now we've got a Galdi in P5. Who's trying to make that comeback race work. And I feel like Galdi is in the best position right now. He's running fresh mediums. And he can take them on the long run. 14 more laps to come. And I feel like 15 lap old mediums should work. Now makes a move on Hammer. Hammer is just losing time. He's just losing time on these old hards. I don't feel like he's going to be able to get into the top 10 if he keeps on driving like this. Tina Stick now on the tail of Rhino Hussey. Too much throttle. Yeah, I get that. Guys, Angry Guns spun thanks to too much throttle on his car. So, and there is a new P2. Not really. Sean is defending. Sean is defending with Rush right behind him, trying to push the Englishman till its limits. And that is going to be beautifully done, to be honest, from Sean defending this P2. Although he is creating a 1 second gap to Widget, so maybe he's trying to work things out between him and his buddy in P1. I think it's a Mercedes driver, if I'm not mistaken. And there is a green flag once again, so probably someone spun out. And there's a 3/10 gap between Sean. Oh, he's going wide again. I feel like these mediums are really giving up already. Galdiu now takes P3. Hammer in P4 as Sean just lost 3 positions due to him struggling a little bit onto the curbs. Is probably going to lose another position to Rhino Hussey here. And yes, indeed, he is. Rhino Hussey takes P5. With Sean in P6. Tina Stick, 3/10s behind Sean. I feel like Sean is just losing a lot of positions right now. It's probably the mediums, maybe some front wing damage. It could be something right there. But I'm just gonna have a quick listen to the stream because I'm hearing some issues in my ears. And I'm not too sure if it's on the thing too. I'm just gonna be talking. I'm just gonna listen at the same time. No, it doesn't seem to be on the stream, so that's great. But when the cars are flying past, I'm able to hear like... I don't know what it is, but it doesn't really matter. We've got a close battle for P6, and I feel like Sean... It's the medium tires. It's the old medium tires. 9-lap-old medium tires. He has the oldest tire on the grid right now. He tried to jump everyone when everyone came into the pits during that safety car. It was a good choice, as he's currently still in P6. I don't know where he was earlier. But I mean, Sean doing a great job right now. Really keeping the guys right behind him. As I mean, Tina Stick, Joe Helsing, those guys are not the ones you should mess with. Rhino Hussey now getting past Hammer to get back into the top 4. And he really needs to get either a P3, either a P2, or either a P1. And I feel like he's not going to get a P1. Geldy is just so fast. Medium tires, 3-lap-old mediums. He will be able to take them with him till the end of the race. And there's a 2.2 second gap between Rhino Hussey and Geldy. So Geldy is closing down. Rush is going to make the move around the outside of Widget. That is going to be moved down before the corner is there. Widget is just going to back out into turn 15 as they're entering the chicane now. Turn 16 and 17, that is. That is beautifully done from Rush right there. Now Geldy on the tail of these guys. As he's going to have the DRS here. Down the main straight. Start finish straight. Do they have the DRS though? Is DRS already enabled? I do think it is. Oh, Geldy tried to make a move down the inside right there. Didn't make it work. As I feel like Widget kind of closed down that gap down the inside. So not too sure if it was a clean defense, a clean offense. It is what it is. Shanu now comes into the pits to go on to soft tires. He was struggling too much on the soft tires, unfortunately. There's also someone else coming into the pits. That is going to be Joby, who's going to be switching a front wing. And now 1.1 second gap from Widget to Rush. So Rush is really pushing right now. And I feel like Geldy, he needs to get past Widget as soon as possible in order to get back to Rush. But Rush is on 4-lap-old hards. You know, 4-lap-old hards, they're going to be better at the end of the race than the mediums, of course. Rush is going to take the race win. It's only 11 more laps to go. So the more time he's going to gain right now, the better he's looking for the... No idea what team he races for. But Geldy now takes P2, but Rhino Hussey is closing in. And John Holmes in P8 right now. 2/10s behind Joe Helsing. So Joe Helsing with a pretty good comeback race after a disappointing qualifying. It's looking great. John Holmes looking to make a move around the outside. It wasn't there as he went a little bit onto the grass. Now coming into turn 18, that is. As Widget is coming into the pits. 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. John Holmes is going to have the DRS on the... What team does Joe Helsing race for? Haas, if I'm not mistaken. There goes John Holmes into P6. that is on these fresh hearts. So Hammer is on 14 upholds hearts, so that is possibly going to be another move for John Holmes. So he's going to get into the top 5 if he doesn't lose any other positions. Widget, who's still in the pit lane. Sean is possibly going to overtake the guy. He actually isn't. Widget came out of the pits right before him. As we've got Chef Badger on the medium tires, right behind the Irishman. As we've got, of course, that Irish car from Youngie. Yes, Youngie, the Aston Martin driver, he is just consistent. He's just consistent. He gets consistent medium place positions. And I want to have a quick look where he actually qualified. He qualified in P7. He's currently in P8, so only lost 1 position, which isn't that bad. Now, let's have a quick look at Tina Stick. And let's look at what tires he's running. 5 leveled hearts as he's closing down the gap to Hammer right now. Hammer, he's done great on these old hearts. I do have to give him that, but the time has come to come into the pits and choose other tires, because he will not be able to be on these hard tires for another 10 laps. If you get what I mean, of course. Tina Stick is looking to get a podium maybe here. I mean, if he can close down the gap to Geldy, Rhino Hussey, Rush, if they're going to be battling with each other. I feel like Rhino Hussey is even losing time to Geldy right now, as Geldy is closing down that gap on the Englishman. I actually have no idea. I don't know what I should call him. On Rush, on Rush. Murph, also a driver's champion in the Drivers' Championship battle. Currently only in P9, so that is not a great way to end your season. All the way in P9. He's been consistent. He's been pretty fast over the whole season. It's just letting itself down right now here in Japan. As his qualifying wasn't the best either. The qualifying wasn't the best either. His race pace isn't there today. Might have been, a day where he felt not that really great. A day where he thought he could do more, but it wasn't there. It's those kind of races you have at least once every season. And I feel like it's going to be the one for Murph today. Maybe it's not his track. That could be too. But that is that. Thatcher with a 3-second time penalty right now. Thatcher is all the way in P11, which is not that bad considering him starting at the back of the grid. And let's have a quick look at other people on the grid right now. As we've got Widget closing down the gap to Matko. Both drivers are running a pretty cool livery, as Widget is now coming down the inside, down the main straight. He's not going to have DRS though, but it's going to be enough with a little bit of slipstream, a little bit of ERS. He has made that move into turn 15, now into the chicane right now, 16 and 17 that is. As we've got a Matko spitting out. He's on the grass right now, loses another position to Hammer, who's coming to the pits already. And Widget gets the fastest lap. Matko with another spin. Seems like he's struggling a little bit here. Comes into the pits. And he's gone on to other tires probably. Yellow flag in sector 3. That is going to be for Matko. And he gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So he might be retiring from the session. Yes, indeed he is. That is going to be another DNF in this race. Let's go on board with John Holmes right now, who's 4 tenths behind Tina Stick. So Tina Stick has really made a good comeback race. I feel like he was all the way at the middle of the pack, maybe rather at the back of the pack during the middle of the race. But currently in P4, not too bad. He's going to score a good amount of points for that Drivers' Championship. Not too sure where he is right now. I feel like he's somewhere in P8. I feel like he is in P8 actually. He's in P10 with 107 points, having a close battle with Dofi and Ryan in P9 and P8. Ryan, who isn't there today, so he's not going to score any points. So these points from P4 for Tina Stick can do wonders. Tomo isn't there either. Is Tomo there? Tomo is there. He's in P10. So that's not going to be a lot of points. Tampa isn't there. We've got Geldy, who's going to score a good amount of points. So he's going to pass Benji Bucket on the Drivers' Championship. Might overtake Murph too. Depends on how many points you get for a race win. Or at least a P2. Or at least a P3. As we've got Rhino Hussey right on the tail of Geldy right now. As we've got the Rhino Hussey, what team? I have no idea what team he races for. But he is closing down on Geldy, and I feel like Geldy, he's been consistent over the whole race, but he's not able to close down the gap to Rush. And I feel like maybe Geldy and Rhino could work together to kind of make something work, if that makes sense. I'm just going to plug out my audio interface again, and then I will be right back because I'm hearing some interference. All right, all right, all right. I should be back. I should be back indeed. There is a yellow flag in sector 1, that is. That is going to be Thatcher's. No way. Thatcher scratched out. He had such an amazing race already, but unfortunately is in the wall right now as he's all the way in B16, and he's going to be finishing that race in B16. Rhino still on the tail of Geldy as he's really patiently waiting for the right time to make that move, possibly with the DRS right here. Down the start finish straight. Is he going for it? Yes, indeed, he is. Down the inside of the Haas driver, and that is going to be an easy move with the Dragon car he's running right now. Beautifully done from Rhino, but Geldy, he has not given up yet. Although he has to. He has to yield. Might be able to stick on the tail of Rhino Hussey. And then hopefully he can get another move down the start finish straight. That might be a good run. Or maybe they just have to work together, try to get closer to Rush. I feel like Rhino Hussey is going to be the one that can close down the gap more easy than Geldy can. Because Geldy, I mean, over the course of the season, he hasn't been one of the faster guys. I mean, he has been one of the faster guys as he is in P5 in the Drivers' Championship. But not the one with the fastest pace. I feel like that was either Murph, Rhino Hussey. Angry Guns is also a guy with a lot of pace. And you can definitely see that with the qualifying. The qualifying tells you something about a driver's one lap pace. And Geldy was only in P8 in the qualifying. Rhino Hussey was in P2. We had Angry Guns who was in P1. We had Rush who was in P3. So all those guys have a little bit more one lap pace than Geldy. But Geldy, looking at his race right now, he's able to keep it consistent. And that is something important during the race, right? You're not really that much with a one lap pace around a whole 27 lap race. So that is something you have to work on as a driver too. You know, you've got drivers who are really fast during one lap, but unfortunately aren't able to perform that kind of pace during the race. I'm one of them. I would say I'm really fast with one lap pace, you know. And there is a yellow flag. Is that going to be a safety car? That is not going to be a safety car. But Hammer makes that move on Sheepy Kev. I was looking at the safety car, if there was a safety car, and then Hammer made that move already. My apologies for missing that, guys. I'm just gonna have a quick listen because I feel like my microphone is a little bit fucked up right now. Let me have a quick listen. Hello, hello. Let me have a quick listen. Hello, hello. Nope. Seems to be all good. Guys, by the way, if you haven't followed the channel yet, I'm 2 followers away from 400. So it would be nice if you followed the channel even for once, like till I've got 400. Then I can take a screen and put it on my timetable. That would be, I mean, my roadmap, whatever you want to call it. So Geldy is still on the tail of Rhino Hussey, and Rhino Hussey did close the gap on Rush. So as I said, Rhino Hussey really has that pace to close down the gap on someone. So what Geldy has to do right now is just patiently wait. Don't make any sudden moves on Rhino Hussey or anything like that. Just let him close down the gap to Rush. Then hopefully benefit from the battling they're going to be having. 1.1 seconds. There's still 4 more laps to come after this one. So there is time for Geldy to make that move. But he shouldn't make any sudden moves at the moment. Because then, of course, Rush is just going to go further and further away. And that's not what you want as a P3. Then you're only battling for a P2 still, as he takes a lot of curb down the inside there. Joe Helsing, who gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And he had such a good race and messed that up. Fortunately, he had such a great race. I feel like, you know, he had the pace. He had a lot of positions gained. I mean, at some point at this race, he was in P4 or something like that, with like 17 positions gained or something. I don't think it was 17. I think it was something like 15, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, it is what it is. Rhino right now, within the DRS of Rush, 8/10 between the two. And Geldy is not able to keep up. Geldy might miss on the DRS here. And that is going to be a big factor. But if Rhino Hussey is going to close down the gap on Rush, they're going to be battling. And then Geldy can just close down the gap again. So the only thing Rush can do right now is push as much as he can. And then Rhino Hussey has to push. And Geldy doesn't necessarily have to push. Because, I mean, he can be happy with a P3 anyway. He's P5 in the Drivers' Championship. The guys he's battling for the Drivers' Championship with are currently way back. We've got Tina sticking, I mean, P4, but he's not really battling with Geldy. Who else is there? Tomo, Tampa, all those guys are really, really far back. So you shouldn't worry too much about that. But, I mean, it's just a win-win. If the guys ahead are going to be having a collision, he gets that race win. If they're not, but they're just going to battle, he can just benefit from that battling. He's now running the grass. He has to watch out, though. He's pushing a little bit too much, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he doesn't have any ERS either, so I think he really is trying to keep up with Rhino Hussey here. 1.6 seconds right now. 1.8 seconds is going to be difficult, but Rhino Hussey has some troubles keeping up with Rush too. Look at that, guys. Look at Rhino Hussey closing down the gap right now. 6/10. He's going to have the DRS later. Down the start-finish straight, but he's not in that zone yet. There is Joe B. Rennie, who is in the wall, unfortunately. I thought it was... I thought for a second it was Rush. 2/10 right now for Rhino Hussey. Here he goes. Here goes the Englishman through turn 15. He's going around the outside of Rush. Rush kind of closing the gap, closing to the wall right there as he takes a lot of curb on the inside. Not a good exit from Rush right there, but who has the DRS? It is going to be Rhino Hussey, so he's going to be taking the lead for the race right now. Still 2 more laps to come after this one as we're currently entering lap 25 out of the 27. And now with the lead he has, Rhino Hussey, of course. He might be able to pull away from Rush. There hasn't been too much battling, so Geldy didn't have the opportunity to come back and close down the gap on these guys. But we might want to focus on Youngie right now, who's closing down the gap on John Holmes. We saw Youngie struggle a little bit earlier during this race. I mean, he was letting so many people go through. I think it was like, it wasn't P3 or something like that, or like P5. He dropped back all the way to P12. Yeah, it was a really, really interesting thing he did right there. But I mean, doesn't really matter. He's back in P6 right now. He's got the Irish car, as I said already, running lap 29. Number 29, actually, as he makes that move on John Holmes. John Holmes possibly has made a mistake entering a turn 9. That is, it's a really dangerous corner, turn 9, as you've got a lot of curb on the exit and on the outside, of course. So if you touch that curb, you're spinning into the wall, or at least are going to spin into the wall. Well, you're going to be really, really, really close at spinning into the wall, but I feel like, you know, turn 9 and 10, they should take away those curbs. They're really, really dangerous around Japan. Of course, the guys are all gonna be saying, don't touch the curbs. As we're now looking at Merv making that move on John Holmes too. So John Holmes definitely doesn't have the pace here. Like he is running old tires. He's now really fast through the corners. There's a lap old hard, so he shouldn't actually lose that much time to the guys ahead. As Rhino Hussey is running medium tires. So on the long stretch, Rush should be a little bit faster. As you can see, he's trying to keep up with the Rhino up ahead, and he's closing down the gap too. But the dirty air is really, really, really effective here. The more, as you can see right there, through turn 3, he went really wide, and that is the main symptom, not really symptom, but like the main negative effect of dirty air. Usually dirty air gives you a lot of straight line speed. If you're right on the tail of someone, because slipstream is also called dirty air, right? So if you're right on the tail of someone, that is going to give you dirty air. On the straight line, it's going to give you more straight line speed. But through the corners, you're just going wide because you've got understeer due to that dirty air. So as you could see earlier in sector 1, he went really, really wide through turn 3 or turn 4. And that is the negative effect of the dirty air. And as you can see right now, taking the slipstream, he's going to gain a little bit of time. It's going to be 1.5 tenths. But he's right on the tail of Rhino right now, entering the last lap of this race. And we can see a lot of the guys trying to make a move around the outside into turn 16. But it's not there. It's not there. The time between turn 15 and 16 is so small, you're not able to make that move with a good traction coming out of turn 15. So Rush, who now had the DRS on Rhino Hussey, wasn't able to close down the gap. This is going to be a last lap battle right now. Lap 27 out of 27 between Rhino Hussey and Rush. If Rhino takes the race win here, oh, what is happening? Rhino Hussey slowed down for Rush. Rush went just onto the back of the Rhino. So I'm not too sure if Rhino is trying to let him go past or something, because he's really slowing down on the straights. I feel like he's saving fuel. Could that be it? No, that couldn't be it, because we had 3 safety cars. I'm not too sure what Rhino is doing here. Maybe trying to cause front wing damage to Rush? That would be quite controversial, but he's closing... Geldy is closing down the gap, 1.3 seconds. I feel like that might be the thing that Rhino is trying to do. Trying to get Geldy to close down the gap. It's not really working out, as Murph is now taking P5 from Young. He's had quite a good comeback race, if I'm being honest. He was all the way at the back of the grid. But now he's looking at a P5 with his teammate. Well, teammate-looking car. Tina Stick right in front of him. Let's have a quick look here. Rush, he's not going to be able to close down the gap to Rhino Hussey. So Rhino Hussey has the thing he had to did the thing he had to do here in Japan. He saw Angry Guns spin. He saw Angry Guns DNF during this race, as Youngie now gets dropped back to P7, and there's last lap chaos, last corner chaos, and that is going to be John Holmes in the grass. Is he going to get overtaken by someone? Doesn't look like it. Maybe by Chef Badger. Yes, indeed. Chef Badger makes that move, so John Holmes is going to drop back to P8. And what a race end that was for John Holmes. I feel like he got a little bit of a touch from someone. I should do interviews on stream? I could. You want to do an interview, Geldy? I can have you as an interview. There we go. Those are going to be all the guys who finished the race. Sean, a little bit of an unfortunate result. 12 lap old softs. He's all the way at P13, so not a great race. But yeah, I can definitely do interviews. If get us all in a party. It's not going to work through a party. It has to be a Discord call. Because I'm not streaming through PlayStation. I'm streaming to my PC. So I'm not able to join the party, if that makes sense. But congratulations to Rhino Hussey. He did the thing he had to do. And, you know, he saw Angry Guns spin out. He had to get the race win today to secure the Drivers' Championship. Not yet. Because if he spins this next week, Angry Guns needs to get the race win. And then Angry Guns is gonna win the Drivers' Championship. So it's going to be close, but I feel like Rhino Hussey just has to get into the top 13 as the top 15 gets points. Now, I'm just going to have a quick look if I can make that work with the interviews. Let me get that sorted for you guys real quick. I will be right back. So you will just be able to see me. Oh, wait. I need to show you guys the standings, of course. I mean, the results. There we go. So this is going to be the results. Rhino Hussey in P1, Rush in P2, and Geldy with a good comeback race. Might be driver of the day. In P3, further we've got Tina Stick, Youngie, Murph who had a good comeback race. Chef Badger too in P7, came all the way from P20. And we got John Holmes in P8, Tomo in P9, and Hammer in P10. Further we've got Sheepy Kev, we've got Widget, Sean, and then all the DNFs, unfortunately. Joe Helsing, Joby Rennie, Thatchers, Matko, Angry Guns, Oranje, and Calvert. Not too sure what happened with Joby Rennie. But yeah, I mean, Joby Rennie, he was looking... Joe Helsing, sorry. Joe Helsing. He was looking really great during the whole race, but I never got a notification. Yo, what's up, dude? Welcome, buddy. The race is just over, so... Yeah, I'm just gonna do the interviews. See if I can get the interviews to work. I'm just gonna close down the PlayStation real quick. There we go. There goes the PlayStation. Thanks for the follow, Patch. Appreciate it. Now we only need one more follower to get 400 followers. Come on. Really need that. Really need that. All right, so I'm just gonna not really close down the stream. Oh, yes, I've got 400. 400, guys. Yes, come on. Thanks for the follow, guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. I'm really happy right now. I'm really happy. It's a new goal we reached. All right, I'm gonna get the interviews ready. I'm gonna get the interviews ready, and hopefully someone is gonna show up. I know Geldy is gonna go. He wanted the interview, so I'm just gonna play some nice music for you guys, some Chilly Willy music, and then we will get the hello, hello. Ah, there we are. All right, I'm back. Alrighty, guys. We've got Mr. Geldinator in the chat. Welcome, Geldy.
How we doing? All right.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good myself. You must be very delighted with your result here tonight in Japan. How did you feel?
It was good. I mean, qualifying wasn't ideal. I ballsed up my last lap, and my first flying lap I got impeded, so didn't really have much choice than to go on the hards at the start of the race, which was good because you always know there's gonna be safety cars around here. So
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I put it on the charts too that there was probably going to be more than 2 safety cars, like at least 2. So that's why I suggested either go on to medium, soft. So I was quite surprised seeing a lot of guys on the hards, but it's a gamble you take. It's a gamble you take. You can go from hards to mediums to softs to softs, whatever you want to go to. But yeah, congratulations on your P3. You managed to get onto the podium. Did you feel like you had any chance going up against Rush and Rhino heading into those last couple of laps?
if we had another safety car between sort of 15 and 20, I would have changed tyres to either fresh, mediums, or soft. So with that, I feel like I would have had a chance. But on the old hards, I was basically just hanging on, really.
Yeah, because Rhino was running 14-lap-old mediums at the end of the race, if I'm not mistaken. And then Rush was running the old tires, the old hards too. But I don't know what happened between Rhino and Rush at the end of the race, but you kind of gained time during those last couple of laps. I think it was lap 26 and 27 where you really got into that seconds of Rush. Did you feel like you had, well, during the whole race, right? Did you have any point where you thought I might be winning this race and like going into that?
I did, to be honest. Yeah, once I sort of got through the field on the hards, I felt like the pace was there.
Okay.
But the rubber to green didn't really go in terms of safety cars and lap wise.
Okay.
Over the moon with third after qualifying an 8th, so it was good.
All right, and with the thought that you might be winning this race as a racing driver, I'm a commentator, right? As a racing driver, does your mind tell you push more, or are you more a driver which is like really smooth, trying to keep the same pace as he's running the whole race and see what comes, or did you really try to push more, having that thought of having that race win?
It was a bit of both, really. I tried staying obviously between the lines to avoid getting any track penalties, which can hurt you around any track. So consistency is obviously key, but I did try pushing a little bit hard with, say, 3-4 laps to go. And I completely balls up my sector 1, so I lost time to both Rhino and Rush, and they're quick drivers as it is, so you need to avoid mistakes to try and keep up with them.
Yeah, but I mean, still a P3. That's great for the Drivers' Championship. You're currently in P5. I think you're closing down on Angry Guns because he did have a DNF tonight. And of course, I think you've overtaken Benji too with a P3.
Well, Benji's now a Div 1 driver, so he's getting removed from the Div 2 standings regardless. So,
oh, I didn't know that. I thought Benji was still going to be driving Div 2.
No, he's currently Div 1 now. He's far too quick for us.
Oh yeah, he's really quick. To be honest, he was a little bit too quick. But looking at the Drivers' Championship, you're currently P5, getting P4 when Benji is getting removed. You got a good amount of points, but do you think you still have a chance at the P3 in the Drivers' Championship? You're now with a P3 contention with Murph, who has 205 points before this race. I think he finished off in P5 tonight, so you're going to be closing down on him by about 5 to 10 points. Do you think you still have a chance of getting that podium in the Drivers' Championship?
Oh, definitely. We've got one race to go, which is Mexico next week, and it's a double point race, so there's still plenty of points.
I didn't know that. That is great. So if he crashes out, you are maybe able to get a P2. That's going to be a little bit too real.
I believe that we run 35 points for the winner, so I mean, potentially the winner's got 70 points available next week, so there's still plenty to play for in drivers and instructors.
100%. Yeah, that could possibly be something to look out for in Mexico, but of course, then you need to bring the pace from Japan to Mexico. It's a long travel from Japan to Mexico, so hopefully the jet lag is not going to give you too many problems. Well, Geldy, thank you very much for being in the Convox, and I will see you guys next week. I will see you next week. I think we have got Mr. Rhino in the chat.
Congrats on your 400 as well, man. Well done.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm really happy, to be honest. I've been working very hard for those 400 followers, and finally got there. So thank you very much, buddy.
Well deserved. And well done, Ray and Rhino. Good racing, lads.
Yeah, we've got Rhino in the chat right now. Welcome, Rhino. How are you feeling after that race win?
Mate, I don't know what to say really. I started on the softs, and then that's when the first safety car came out. I had my mate Jake, who's in the party with me, basically like a race engineer for me, and he was helping me so much throughout it. So yeah, I pitted for hards, and then I let them last probably 6 or 7 laps, and then when it got to about the 11th, I think it was the 11th lap, when another safety car came out, I pitted for mediums, and then ended up making them last until the end. Well, don't know how I done it, to be fair, but as soon as I got past the first couple of cars, from like 8 down to about 5, I think it was, and then when I see Geldy and I think it was Geldy, Widget, and Ray, they were all fighting each other up in for the top 3, and I just kept my distance and just bided my time for a couple of them to make a mistake. Geldy held his nerve, and Ray's pace is phenomenal. So.
Yeah, 100%. I do have a couple of questions though. With that second safety car, I think that was the first time you came into the pits. Is that right? Onto the hards, if I'm not mistaken.
The second one, yeah.
Yeah, the second one. Yeah. At that point, did you think you were gonna win this race at like any point during that period till the third safety car, if I'm not mistaken? Did you have any thoughts of like, I'm gonna be winning this race, because you were far at the back? I think you were.
Oh, I know, yeah.
I think you were at like P13 or something like that after that pit stop. P10 maybe, I don't know. You were far back. Did you have a think that you were gonna win this race?
To be quite honest, before the actual race itself, I was doing time trial. I do not like Japan at all.
Okay. But you still managed to win.
Yeah, somehow. Through sheer guts and determination and nerve. Just held my nerve throughout the whole race, just biding my time, taking one car at a time on the straights. Weren't no forcing it or anything. So, but yeah, I thought Ray was going to get me, but we had a little bit of a nudge on I think it was the last lap actually. He gave me a little bit of a nudge on, I think it was like the third to last corner, fourth to last corner.
Turn 15, I think that is.
Yeah.
Or turn 12, I'm not too sure. But I did see it though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. You know when you take the hairpin, I think it was.
Yeah, that's turn 12 and turn 13.
That corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
as I said, before the race, I wasn't confident at all. I just couldn't wait to get over and done with.
Well, still a stellar drive. Looking at the Drivers' Championship right now, you're currently in P1. You're leading the Drivers' Championship after Angry Guns. Having an unfortunate DNF, do you think you're secured of that P1 in the Drivers' Championship already, or do you really have to put in some practice to hopefully win the race or get at least a P3 in Mexico next week, because it's double points next week? So you really need to really need to perform in Mexico, because if Angry Guns gets the race win, he gets those 35 points back immediately with a couple of 35 points extra. So what are your expectations going into Mexico?
In actual fact, Mexico is one of my favorite tracks, so I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, I've just got to, like I say, keep my nerve, just hold the nerves, just keep driving the way I'm driving at the moment, and hopefully get top 3, top 4. But with the way that Ray's driving and Geldy's driving at the moment, it's so hard, because one of us makes a mistake, then it's it.
Yeah, I mean, Geldy.
Between me and Josh, I think before tonight, there was 3 points in it.
Yep.
With his unfortunate DNF, I don't know what happened. I was miles behind.
Too much throttle, he said in the chat. He said he put too much throttle in a certain corner and just spin it.
So yeah, the thing is, all it takes is one minor mistake, and it could be over next week. So
Yeah, indeed. I mean, 70 points.
Three-
There's a lot
three
of
of us.
points.
Yeah.
There's a lot of points to grasp. I think the only battle that's gonna be there is gonna be between you and Josh, because Murph didn't get a great result. I think he had P5 today, so you definitely
Yeah.
gain some more time, some more points on him. So I don't think even with the race
but-
win next week, Murph is gonna win the championship.
From
I'm not
what
too sure.
Murph was saying, he's had his child next to him saying it. He was bored and stuff in Discord apparently. So he's got things like putting him off. Not putting him off. You know what I mean? Like just maybe lack of concentration or something.
Yeah, that's. I mean, as a racing driver, driving a 50% race concentration is one of the most important things, because that
Oh, yeah.
actually brings consistency to your race. If you're not concentrated, when I'm streaming, I'm doing open lobbies, I have to watch the chat and race at the same time. People are telling me, Thomas, your consistency is shit as fuck, and that's mainly because I don't have concentration on the race. So drivers usually who have more concentration on the race are going to be performing better during the race than the guys who don't. But I'm going to be finishing off the stream here. Rhino, is there anything else you'd like to say
Absolutely.
going into next week's race? Wishing the competition good luck. Anything else?
All I'd like to say is thanks to Sean for getting me into the league from being inconsistent to, well, inconsistent for the first 5 races to being up there with everyone, like the top 4. GG's to everyone tonight. Good race. Couple of safety cars, but when isn't there? And bring on Mexico.
Yes, 100%. But there's one more thing, because I saw you signed up for King of Leagues, didn't you?
I have indeed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's on Saturday.
I do have to say, you still have to sign up. Like, check in. You
What?
didn't check in yet.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I'll do it now.
Make sure to do that. Otherwise, you won't be able to race. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
I'll
So,
do it now.
yeah, thank you, buddy. All right. I wish you good luck on Saturday. I mean, it's going to be an exciting event. You're probably going to be racing on 6:30. I do think that F1 RL is going to be in pool 2. But that's going to be for tomorrow, of course, because tomorrow we've got Sean and the other driver who's going to be qualifying.
Sean and yeah, another
Who
one.
is the other one? Wait, it's the new guy. It's the new guy. He just joined.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. But yeah, looking at that lineup, what are your expectations for the qualifying in Qatar tomorrow?
For the qualifying,
It's hardcore, by the way. Yeah, for the qualifying on Friday, right? They have to qualify, and then that's going to determine in what pool you are.
I think we've got a good chance. As long as they just hold their nerve. Like I say, I keep saying hold their nerve or whatever, but it's all about confidence at the end of the day. Qatar's a really, really quick track, so one slight mistake on the corner could potentially hinder the race for Saturday. But at the same point, I've got all faith in Sean and Hardcore to do it. To be fair.
Yep. Well, that is going to be the stream over. Thank you very much for being in the comm box tonight,
you very
Rhino. I
much.
really appreciate it. Is
Have
there
a good
anyone
evening,
else? Is there anyone else in the comments box? Yeah, there is. Ray. Ray, welcome. We've got Ray in the comments box. Welcome, Ray.
Welcome. Hello.
Oh, wait. I'm going to put you a little bit lighter because I'm not able to hear you. Hold up. Can you
I'll
talk
catch you in
again?
a bit. Sorry.
Can you talk again? Ray?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Have a good rest of the stream and catch you in a bit.
Yup, thank you, Rhino. Have a good one.
Yep.
I'm just going to
You
put
too,
you on 200% because I'm not able to hear you. Can you talk again, Ray?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Oof. Not really. Hold up.
I'll put on my couple. This is as high as it goes.
Oh yeah,
Better.
that's way better. That's way better. Thank you. So you are Rush, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yes.
So You finished in P2. Congratulations for that, by the way. Going into the race, what were your expectations driving on Japan? Do you feel like it's a good track? It's a bad track? What do you feel Japan is in
I'd say
your
it's one of my
track list?
worst on this game, to be honest. I mean, I was looking at time trial. Rhino was way faster than my best time. So was my teammate actually Tenastic. I was actually pretty surprised with my qualifying performance and race. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you did really great during the race. At some point during the race, did you think like my race win is over? I'm not gonna win this race, or I mean, not. I mean, you didn't win the race, but
I started third. After the first few corners, and after the first two safety cars, I mean, behind Rhino in the softs. So I knew he'd have to pit at some point. I'm on the mediums. And I just gambled for another later safety car. I'd just pit later because if I pitted in lap 5 or on the first safety car, I'd be on hards to the end, and that wouldn't make it. As I saw when I pitted on lap 12. So yeah, I mean, race win was under control. I mean, after the second safety car, I pushed like a madman to get our DRS. Stayed under like 2 seconds, and like Rhino said, I mean, you make a small mistake any fucking corner, and they're on you. So you know.
yeah, 100%.
That's how it was. Yeah,
That's what
like
Japan is.
even last week at China, I mean, I was leading till the last corner and I made a mistake, and that was my race win. Same on this, I think in the penultimate lap, I made a mistake. He got into DRS, and I'd seen by the setups where I was gaining to him in the corners, but he was gaining quite a lot back in the straight. So I knew if he gets into DRS, it's probably over.
Benji Ray finished in P2. It was Rush. So, yeah, I do have a question though. Was there any specific reason why you went onto the hard at the end of the race? Because you saw the two guys being Geldy. Well, you didn't see it when you came into the pits, but after it, did you see that Geldy and Rhino went onto the mediums? So, of course you did, but is there a specific reason why you went onto the hards?
Yeah, it was on the safety car lap 12, I believe, and I was already on the mediums, so softs are definitely not taking me to the end, so I only had one option to go straight for the hard.
That's right.
I saw Rhino on the alternate strategy. I assumed by the last lap or two his tires would completely die compared to mine, but I guess not. I made a couple of mistakes, so
yeah, he really did have the pace here around Japan on those mediums. I feel like, Japan, there's usually a lot of like tire wear, but I feel like today we didn't really see many people struggling with the tire wear. Maybe Sean a little bit on the 10 lap.
Actually,
mediums.
when I was practicing, about after 10, 12 laps, hards were completely dead. But today, I think the weather was like way lighter. It wasn't as sunny, so the tire wear was way lower, I think. I'm not sure.
Oh, that could make sense because I
Or
don't know
it
if
could be the F1 World cars were on either or.
Yeah, that could be too because I heard there were some issues with the game once again. Going into this race, are those issues like do they do something with your mind when entering this race, or are you like it's just another race, just another issue from EA, nothing going on right now, or did that really play?
I don't really like it, but it's a bit annoying in the sense that I don't know who my teammate is in the F1 world. So it's like when I'm pitting, I was very afraid that whoever is next to me, like ahead of me, if they're pitting, they could be on my team and I could get held up. That didn't happen to me, but it happened to somebody else right behind me who was in P2, I think. But yeah, that was the one thing that was a bit on my mind when I pit. Will somebody else block me or not? But I mean, I was in the lead for most of it, so I was good for that one.
Yeah, nevertheless, you had an amazing result in P2. I'm going to be finishing off the stream. Thank you very much for being here, Ray. I see that Geldy is still here, so thank you very much for being here too, Geldy. I really appreciate you. You too, and also Rhino Hussey joining me for the comms box. It's always nice to have you guys. It's the first time I'm doing this, actually, so yeah. Thank you for being here, and I really enjoyed this. We'll see you another time. Guys in the chat, thank you very much for being here. Am I allowed to raise on your league? No, Formula Jake, you are not, unfortunately. You're not in a team, therefore are not able to drive for a team. So that is going to be that. All right, guys, I'm going to be finishing off the stream here. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys the next time. Make sure to rewatch the interviews, rewatch the race if you haven't already, and I will see you next week in Mexico, season ender. Peace out.